Hi, my name is Sam Doniak, and this is my Windshield survey for community and population-focused nursing. For my Windshield survey, I looked at Parker, Colorado, which is in Douglas County. Parker and Douglas County are two of the most affluent areas in the whole state of Colorado. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2014, the median household income was over $100,000, and just under 4% of the residents of Douglas County live in poverty. Or sorry, that's Parker. Under 4% of Parker residents live in poverty. Parker is the second most populous city in Douglas County. The population is just over 50,000. And although it's such an affluent place, Parker and Douglas County in general, homelessness and poverty are still problems there. Just under 1% of students in the Douglas County School District were considered homeless last year. And Douglas County does not have any homeless shelters in the whole place. The community's outstanding assets include its wealth and the fact that it's also fairly spread out. It's very suburban, doesn't have anything like the population density of Denver or Aurora. There are quite a few apartments and townhome complexes, especially around downtown Parker, but the majority of the community in general is made up of large single-family houses on large, widely spaced lots. It's quite obvious how affluent the community is. Everything looks new, clean, well kept. There are almost no properties or places that look run down or poorly maintained. There's a lot of open space with parks and trails everywhere, lots of people biking, jogging, walking. However, it looks like most of the people are walking or biking as a form of recreation rather than a means of transportation. Almost everyone drives everywhere to go shopping or run errands. There's parking lots everywhere. All the cars are pretty new, pretty expensive. Everybody in the place in Parker looks pretty healthy, pretty wealthy, mostly Caucasian. There are not very many minorities at all. Most of the stores and restaurants look pretty upscale. There's places you'd see in any kind of suburban setting, like Chipotle, Noodles, Tokyo Joe's. There's a lot of churches, a lot of Christian churches, and a few Jewish synagogues. So religion is obviously a large part of the community. The community's biggest challenge, I think, is just the homogeneity of the community. It's hard to believe that not everyone there is wealthy and healthy. You don't see anybody that looks homeless, that looks dirty on the streets. You don't see anyone begging on street corners. And it's hard to imagine anyone in the community not having a place to live or food to eat. The most striking thing about the community is just how affluent and suburban it looks. It looks very kind of like any generic suburban area, very clean, very nice, very wealthy. Everything looks pretty new, like it's less than 20 years old. And I'd say the most expected thing, although I don't know if it's really unexpected at all, is just how nice and how wealthy it looks. And the fact that you don't see any of that poverty or homelessness out in the open. Like I said, everything looks brand new. It's just hard to believe that not everyone is healthy and wealthy. However, I can imagine that if you were homeless or not as wealthy as everyone else, you'd feel very out of place because it would be pretty obvious that you didn't fit in with everyone else in the community. So that's Parker. It'll be interesting to look at Douglas County and Parker in terms of homelessness and poverty, because even though it's not obvious, it's still there, and there's not a lot of resources for homeless people. There's not a single homeless shelter in Douglas County at all. So I'm looking forward to studying this more going forward. Thank you very much for your time.